thing that I want to talk about, and that is this big institution, Fidelity, that actually used the UK as an example and makes this argument that Bitcoin is an insurance. If you're in the UK, and you could argue anywhere, in the US, wherever, you should buy Bitcoin as insurance, right? And all these other guys that just got done talking about saying that, the economies are going to get worse, recession is going to get worse, and this and that. Well, Fidelity Investments said this, okay? Our goal is to make digital native assets such as Bitcoin more accessible to investors. We expect to continue investing and experimenting over long term to make this emerging asset class easier for our clients to understand. And then they reported, they have a research report labeled The Rising Dollar in Bitcoin. And then they talk about like the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is the latest example of the current predicament world governments and central banks find themselves in, wanting to revive faltering economies and struggling economic growth with fiscal tools, with a central bank that is tightening to try to fight decade-high inflation, but then encountering market stress that requires more liquidity to tamp down financial volatility and keep it from spreading. Some UK investors or traders may have already noticed Bitcoin's potential to opt out of the current situation, as trading volumes between British pound and Bitcoin spiked to a record high, right? So basically, what they're saying is what I've been saying. People want to opt out. They don't seem to have a choice. When you see your sterling or pound or your yen or your euro or whatever other currency, you're seeing it being debased right in front of you versus the dollar, and you're seeing inflation taking your buying power away from you. What else can you do, right? You can opt out. You can opt out, just like what Fidelity said. You can opt out and choose something better like Bitcoin, right? So I like that. I like that a lot. And Fidelity is a big, big, big Bitcoin backer. And, I think people underestimate how big Fidelity is. They hold trillions. I think last time I saw it was like 5 or 6 trillion worth of assets. One of the largest asset managers in the world, like right behind BlackRock. I think they may be number 2. So they are absolutely huge. They're into Bitcoin mining. They own Bitcoin miner stock. They were doing Bitcoin mining themselves. They are a custodian. They offer trading services, crypto desk, and they help companies get involved with coming out there with their own digital assets. So very nice. They understand for sure. All right, now speaking of Bitcoin, some other good news about it. Well, good charts, I should say. Our friend TechDev posted this showing a trend line using Nupal, unrealized profit and loss, showing the top end, bottom end, right? When there's a high downside risk, we don't have to worry about right now, but high upside risk is what we should pay attention to, and that is where we are right now, right? So again, a lot of these metrics showing that, yes, it's a great time to be buying, especially when you want to opt out of everything that's going on right now, all the macro nonsense that's going on right now, all the dire warnings that's being thrown out. Great time to be DCA into Bitcoin. And as for some of these whales, I've been sharing with you guys, like last night, talked about a huge whale that purchased like $1 billion worth of Bitcoin from Coinbase. And the previous day, some other whale that bought like $740 million of Bitcoin. So you could see the daily on-chain exchange flow is still very, very negative for Bitcoin. These whales are just stocking up. That's why I said at the beginning, is it that all these influential people are really warning people for the sake of helping people, or are they doing one thing or saying one thing and doing another, such as stocking up and buying low? Because at least for Bitcoin, you see it. The exchange flow, the Bitcoins are flowing out by the billions right now. There are definitely some big, big players that are withdrawing large amounts of Bitcoin. And once they withdraw it, it never goes back in. So think about that. In addition, we know Bitcoin has been very, very stagnant, okay? that usually leads to good things. And I am not the only one that have noticed this, not the only one that covered this. Many people pay attention to the volatility and how it's hanging very, very low. Sellers are exhausted. Exactly right. Right now, no one is looking to sell. Everyone is looking to accumulate. But a lot of people are still fearful. They don't know if this is the right time to accumulate. I get asked every single stream, George, is this a bottom? Should I be buying right now? Should I put my money into it? There's so much anticipation. People want confirmation of that bottom. So that's why there's still a lot of hesitation. There's still a lot of money on the sidelines, right? But Bitcoin right now, if you just pay attention, the volatility is low. It's hanging strong. And with all these large whale buys behind the scenes, right? You know something is going to happen. Something imminent is going to happen. And there's a lot of other charts and metrics that show this. For example, here's something that's called reserve risk, basically measuring holders' conviction. And it's very, very high right now. If you look at where we are in the bottom right-hand corner, it's basically the lowest point we have ever seen, going all the way back to the low of 2015 when Bitcoin was at $100-something. Okay, that's the conviction that holders have right now. So look at that. Okay, so we have only been in close to this level a few times. That includes the bottom of 2015, also the bottom of 2018, the bottom of 2020, and here at 2022. So if you're thinking about buying or DCAing, well, here's one of the reasons why you should be doing so. Here's another one. Basically measuring bear market, or again, how oversold we are. You could, again, compare to 2015, 2018, and where we are right now, 2022, right? Those periods, and I've lived through both of those. I got out of crypto in 2014 when it came down. I was mining Litecoin at the time. I held Litecoin from like $40 all the way down to like $4. Couldn't take any more, panic sold, and then the rest is history. So then I came back in 2017, luckily, right? Rode the wave up, but I also rode that wave down from 2017 all the way to 2020, 2021, right? But then we had the tremendous run. So this is why you need to have patience. Because yes, even though we go through months and years of down, that final run afterwards is what makes it all worth it. And every single run that we have, we form a higher low, a much higher low, and a much higher high too. So keep that in mind. So the fact that we are hovering at 19,000 right now versus the low last time at 3,000 puts things into perspective of how much higher the low is right now. Okay, so another thing to pay attention to, another reason why this is a great time to be DCAing. All right, so I wanted to lead off with those things. So right now, even though Bitcoin is kind of stagnant, but there's many reasons why this is a great time to be buying. And the fact that we have large whales that continue to buy and buy and buy tells you something. And for those of you guys that have been watching me, you know that the banks, the credit cards, all these companies are trying to integrate crypto or Bitcoin services or utilizing their payment rails or something. They're all desperate right now to get into the Web 3.0 revolution, right? So you really don't want to miss out on that. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin and crypto for the first time and you don't know where to get started, head over to CryptosRus.com and click on the best exchange guide. Within, you'll find a list of exchanges that I recommend and some that I use on a daily basis. Head over to CryptosRus.com or utilize the links in the description of this video.